Hi, I'm Curious Cass, and this is Curiosity Junkie. Today's guest is a singer, songwriter, and life coach. Please welcome Julie Burningham to the show. Hi, Julie. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Absolutely. I'm happy to have you on. Thank you for coming on and sharing your wisdom. I met Julie through the Mel Robbins page. I am on there and I love her message, and I have a couple of her books. And so I love when people are brave and vulnerable and will get on there and post their videos and their thoughts and uplift the group. Like, your message has always been very uplifting for the group, and you get a lot of comments and engagement. And so I love that. Let's talk a little bit about, I know you have a coaching business, and your message is, it's a beautiful one. And I know you do some master classes and you don't have anything coming up right away, but I did want to make sure that we mention that because it's part of your message, the inner peace.
Totally. So
Yeah.
right now, I just barely finished a master class, and it's all about finding inner peace. I feel like right now we need that so much. We need to have, we need to find that. And I feel like the news can be so overwhelming and stressful in so many ways. And there's so many adjustments that people are having to make. And to find ways to find inner peace is really essential for, especially right now. So, when I do my master class, I do music, we do breathing, we do meditation, we do some yoga, some movement, and some mindfulness exercises so that we can have some tools to use for moving forward in this crazy time. I feel like so that, you know, when you're stressed, you need some tools in your toolbox to use so that you can have that inner peace, even though it may be chaotic, that you're
Right.
you know it's going to be okay, right?
Right, absolutely. So in your class, I'm assuming it's all online.
Yeah, it's a Zoom, it's a virtual class. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that too.
So it's a seven days. So it's a full like week long
Class.
thing.
What is
So
one of the things you want them to really take away from the class?
probably the biggest thing is they have more power than they realize in what they can control. Like, I really try and focus on mindset and finding new ways to see a situation. So we use positive reframe so that we can see it in a different light. I feel like COVID has done a lot of good things for us in connecting in different ways, and also understanding that we're all in the same boat together, that we're all in this together. And so I feel like we appreciate what we used to have in some ways more because we don't have it now. This is off topic, but I did a choir camp recently, and it was very different from what it was before, but they showed up and they wanted to be there, and they did everything we asked, and you could tell that it meant so much to them. And I feel like COVID has helped us to be more grateful. So I do try, and I hope people come away with it feeling like I have a way to look for joy and gratitude in my life, that I have a way to move and maybe breathe if I am feeling stressed, that I have some sort of way to look at life in a more positive light, even though it may be hard, right?
Yes,
So.
yes. I think with COVID, and I love that you brought up that it's making us maybe a little bit more grateful for what we had, and using the choir as an example, because I would imagine, I know I am, when I do get out and be around people and in a group, I'm appreciative of that connection and being able to be with people again. And so we are more respectful and wearing our masks and doing all the things that we need to do to protect other people and make them feel safe and not just worry about ourselves. So yes, I agree with you 100%. I think it will make us a little more grateful. If we ever get back to the old norm, it may just be a new norm, and people will be more grateful as we get to be around each other again.
Right.
More.
Right. But even, having a meal, outside, my husband and I, we have date night once a week. And so we have it in the park with our takeout dinner, and so to be grateful that we still get to experience those things. It's just in a different way. But, when all the restaurants were closed and then we got to go back to a restaurant, that was like huge. That was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, when you don't have it for so long and then you get to have that back, it means so much more to you, where it was like, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Like, 6 months ago, it'd been like, yeah, whatever, and then now it's like, wow, this is really amazing,
Yes, yes. And you have a little more gratitude for your servers as well. I feel like when I'm out, I'm like, thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging in there. Let me help
Yeah,
you.
right. Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about you also do music. So let's talk a little bit about that because I really don't know that much about the music side of Julie. I get to see your inspiration and your positive message and inclusive message. So I'm so excited to learn that you do music. Let's dig into it.
Yeah. So I probably started doing writing songs about 3 years ago, and I used to make up songs here and there before I was married, and then I just kind of let it go, and then I went back to it, and it just felt so great, and I just came up with all of these different lyrics. I found a teacher that he does compositions, and so he helped me to compose some of these things, and I finally decided to create an album probably last October.
Yeah.
And that was quite a process because I was in school at the same time and doing that. And then, so I finally was able to complete that in December of last year. But the thing about these songs is they're very personal to me and to my story. And so that's why I love them. But it also makes it very vulnerable to share who I am with the world. So you can find my songs on iTunes and Spotify and YouTube. If you just look up Julie Burningham, you'll find my songs. But the titles of my songs are There Is Hope, Warrior on the Inside, that we always have a warrior in there, that we can be courageous. Under the Piano is about a friend that believed in me and on my journey and helped me. And then the last one is just remember who you are and that you have gold inside and that you can do it. That was a story about giving myself hope because I was having a hard time with one of my children. And I felt like as a parent, I was failing, right? Mm-hmm. And so to have that message for me helped me to get through that hard time. So a lot of the things that I have are inspiration for me, and then I hope it'll inspire someone else.
Right. Yes. What is the album making process like? I'm sure that was a journey. There's a learning curve to that because you've never done it before. Let's talk a little bit about that because I'm sure there are other people out there that have a message that they want to share and they don't know how to take some of even the first steps in that process. And I know for me doing this podcast and YouTube channel, I had no idea. I just knew it was something I had a calling to do, and I was like, whatever it takes, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to do a lot of research. Learning curve was like, really?
Yeah.
Hi. So let's talk about your
for sure. So my biggest thing is you need to have people that believe in you, that are surrounding you. And so I found a group online, and it's a group coaching kind of a space, and just very few people in there, but we all support each other, and we have accountability partners. And my partner was like, so why aren't you doing an album? And I was like, I thought about it. I was like, I don't know. And he was like, the only person that's stopping you is you. And I'm like, dang, you're right. I have to do this thing. So I got started. I reached out to somebody that was local that I knew she had done a lot of recordings, and I reached out to her and just said, hey, what do you think about what I've already done so far? Because I had some videos that I had posted online and that she could look at of my material. And she said, you really need, if you want to do a really good job and make it marketable, you'll need to use a music producer, a recording studio. I was like, okay. So I used a person that she recommended, and he was just wonderful. Mark Stevenson is just amazing. He's in Clearfield. It's not very far from my house. And so working with him was amazing, because I was like, I'm just going to go in there and I'll just, put down a piano track and just a vocal thing, and that'll be it. He's like, well, we could do some other things with this so that you could add some instruments, or you could do some harmony, or you could do other things. And I was like, oh, like my mind was like blown. I was like, oh, okay. So, so we did that. So I added harmonies to, I think all of the songs. I added guitar to one of the songs. I added like 49 tracks for one of the songs. Warrior on the Inside is like a huge like Celtic kind of sound to it. And so it had a really neat, it was like almost a movie-like sound, where it was just really a lot of stuff going on. So that was really fun. And then Under the Piano is really basic. And then Just Remember, we added some cello to it. So it was really such a fun creative process to say what is possible and what we like to create here. And so it was really fun to work with him and to get his ideas, but also he was like super supportive of whatever I wanted to do was just fine with him. So it was really a great way to go. So once we had the tracks all done, then I put them on CD Baby, and then they put it out to everybody. So, but then you're not done, because you still have to like market the thing. Someone reached out to me that he knows a lot of, like radio stations that I could put my music on, or different magazines that he could like send my material to so they could review it. So yeah, so you're not finished. You still have to like promote it after you've done the thing. You have to make sure that it gets out to where it needs to go. So
I would imagine that's the harder work, honestly, is promoting it, getting it to the right people, just
right.
trying to connect with people who can connect you to people.
Yeah, totally. What's great is right now doing a Kickstarter for another album is going to be amazing, because I already have an album to show people, to say, yes, I do this kind of work, and let's do something together, right? So I can use that album as momentum for my next. I agree with you that the vulnerability is huge.
Yes,
because I had several times where I was like, what are you doing? Like, you can't do this. Like, this is like, my ego is just like on fire. Like, it just was like, you can't put this out there. People are going to know that anyway, it wasn't, I'm not sharing anything like completely like earth shattering, but for me, it was a really big deal to put myself out there, to even do it. So I agree. But and also to do it again, even like, what is it? What if it's not good enough? Like, is the last one, or like there's always that voice in your head that's like, yes, I don't know, I don't think we're gonna like this or whatever. And then you do it anyway, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like this huge high. It's like we actually did that, even though it was scary. And I feel like there's huge growth in doing something that you're afraid of doing. And so I feel like doing hard things that aren't always comfortable is important.
Yeah.
So that's one reason I have a cold shower every day. It's
I
a
have,
crazy thing to do.
yes,
And
I
I
have
would have
heard that.
never done that years ago. And I think it's still kind of nutty, but it's like, yeah, I have a cold shower. And that actually helps give me confidence that I can do hard things, right?
Yes,
Even a cold
yes.
shower.
I've heard that that's actually kind of healthy for you too.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, there's a lot of benefits. Hmm.
Yes, yes. I
Yeah.
will end a shower cold, but I can't start one.
I'm with you. I am with you for sure. It's got to be warm first.
Right, right. I think I saw it on, I think it was Gwyneth Paltrow. She does that Goop, Goop. And she was talking about it, and she said, I just can't, I can't get in a cold shower. I just can't do it. But she will do the rinse in cold. I'm like, yeah, I can
That's
do that.
right, because your body's already warm.
Right, absolutely. When you were talking about doing things that scare you and that your mind's telling you, no, you can't do it, reminded me of some conversations I've had with Tracy and some of the videos that we've shared. The ego wants to protect you. It's your mind it's wanting to protect you from what might possibly hurt you. And it's not a
Right.
bear chasing you. It's not anything bad. It's just a little bit of fear. How how did you encourage yourself to move past that?
So, myself and to other people. So I had accountability to someone else. That they were like, so, hey, so how's your album coming? And I'm like, I probably should get in there more so that I can actually finish it when I want to. And setting a date, I think, is really important.
Oh yes.
Believing that you can do that. I feel like mindset is huge. So one of the things that I do every day is something for my mind, something for my body, and something for my spirit, just so that I can be in a great mood for the day. And so I'm learning something, I'm meditating, or I'm connecting with higher power, right? And I'm moving my body. I feel like so many of our emotions are tied up in our body. And if we can just release some of that and get that energy out, that all of those, and also overcoming, like that's another hard thing to do, to move our body in hard ways, and to look at that workout and go, I did that. That's awesome. And I feel like it builds a lot of self-confidence when we stack those things. The other thing is spending time on what is important to you. So not turning on social media first thing in the morning, not watching the news. Like, you're protecting that time that is just for you, that you've agreed to those things. So every morning I will do something creative. So I'm usually writing music in the morning and doing my guitar in the morning, hopefully. But if not, I'll get to it. But I have to do music in the morning. I have to create music in the morning, or it just doesn't happen. Like, the day is gone, like other things get piled up. And so that morning protection is vital to creativity, I feel like. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I think everybody has their time that of day that works good. Like some people aren't morning people. They find they're the most creative in the afternoon. I'm very similar to you. I'm right out of the gate is my peak creativity part of the day, and if I'm not doing what I need to do in the first half of the day, it's probably not going to get done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's finding that place for yourself, that where's
Right.
your peak, and that's where you prioritize your focus. And yeah, I love that. That's a good
The
one.
other thing too, I think, is stacking your wins. So something that I realized, I mean, there was a lot that I did up to the point of producing that album. So I had a blog, or even just posting on social media. Like, I wasn't on social media till like 4 years ago. And even then it was like, And now I'm doing live videos every day. And the progress has been huge to do that hard thing. I mean, it isn't hard now, but it sure was when I first started doing it, right? So, and we're having a YouTube channel. I started a student organization at my school for choir directors, and I wrote a grant. I mean, there's so many other things that I've done along the way that have helped me believe in myself that, and once you do a hard thing, you're like, oh, the only person that was judging me the hardest was myself, right? Everyone else is like, wow, that was amazing. Like, look what you did, you know? And anyone that is judging you is probably on the couch with some potato chips and they're criticizing the game or whatever, you know, like they aren't doing anything with their life. Like, do you admire the person that's criticizing you? Like, if you looked at their life, probably not. Right. I mean, anyone that's doing something isn't going to criticize you. I guarantee it. They're going to like encourage you and they're going to be like, yes, now, you know, do this or do that, that you can move forward. Like they're on your team, man. Like they're just there for you. Mm-hmm. So, and that's why I love Mel Robbins is because she's on your team and everyone else there is like rooting for each other. So I love that.
Yeah, it is. It's such a supportive group. You mentioned accountability a few times, and I think it's extremely key to being successful and having timelines. Like that's a really big thing. You have to know when you want to have it completed and then set small timelines so you can, like you say, celebrate wins along the way. I got this done, I got it done on time, and now I've got this in 2 weeks and I've got this in a month, and I think that's great. When you do coaching, are you also coaching accountability coach? Do you do some of that as well in your practice?
So I usually just have assignments for the week, what is specific for that person that they need and what I feel like would help them move forward. Mm-hmm. And so, I do like to have some accountability moving forward because otherwise, then it just kind of falls apart. Right. So, I think that's a really important thing. And I have my own personal coach myself. So I do have accountability with them as well. I honestly like to, if they're committed, then I will always circle back to how is this going and what have you done to move forward with it kind of thing. Just so that I can support them in their goals and what they want to do. But I feel like putting too much structure on it maybe is limiting, or I don't want to like be telling them what to do per se. It's just what did you come up with and what what inspired you to move forward. So yes. That's what I like to do.
Yeah, I like that. The other thing I think is important is the support piece that you talked about. It's really important to surround yourself with people who support what you're trying to do, because there will be a ton of people who will tell you you can't do it, or are you sure that's what you want to do, or they can create self-doubt. And so it's so important to have that. So you said you found a community online for accountability and support. Who else did you surround yourself with for support? Was it friends, family? Like where did you find your support?
Initially, it was some friends. My sister was super supportive when I decided to go back to school. She knew that my parents weren't going to be super excited about that. And she was like, yeah, I believe that you need to go and do what you feel you want to. And it's super exciting right now because I'm at the point where I'm student teaching, and that's like at the very end, and I'm like, I can see myself doing this right now, and I'm like fulfilling my dream that I had way back when. And so it's super exciting for me. So I believe in finding those people that are supportive of your journey. At the time that I decided to go back to school, I did have a therapist that I was going to at the time, and I had my sister, I had a friend that was helping me. So, they just believed in me that I could do this. It was huge for me at the time because, you know, I was shifting my whole mindset from being a stay-at-home mom to going back to school. I already had a master's degree. I already had schooling, but I was going to start all over again, you know, 16 years later. So
Right.
to do it all over. And so it was a huge
Yeah.
step.
Thank you for being brave and doing that. I think that's amazing. Also, the fact that you had just a few people supporting you. I found that too. You're better off having a support system that's solid and a few people that you can go to and confide in and talk about small wins and they will support you than having a large group. Like find the people who truly love and care and want to support you in making something really important to you come true. It doesn't need to be a big group. It can be one or two people and that's a
Totally.
solid support system.
And I will say my husband did have some resistance at first, but he has been amazing. I mean, the fact that we meal plan every week and we do calendars every week so that we are solid and we know what the semester is going to look like. I mean, I could not do any of this without his support, and he has just been phenomenal. So I feel super lucky that we're able to work so well together, and that he, you know, he knew that his life was not going to be the same. Right?
That was the
So there's a
reason.
little bit of resistance, like, I don't know if I want to do that. But at the same time, he loves me and wants to support me, wants to be sure that I'm happy, you know, and you know, if I feel called to do this, that he wants to support me in doing that. So
I
he's really
love
awesome.
that.
I
That's
call
awesome.
I call him Mr. Awesome for a reason.
I love it.
Really.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love too that you guys go on date nights. I think that's so important to take time as a couple, especially if you're leading busy lives and you're doing a lot of things, which you are. You have a lot of irons in the fire and you have a lot of things going on. But it's still important to the both of you to take that time for each other. I just think that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we work out together in the morning, which is like super awesome. I honestly feel more connected when we're doing that. Like we can give each other fist bumps or whatever. Like we can do a hard workout and it's really feels good to do that together. And then, you know, we'll go on hikes together and enjoy experiences. We did a trip to just a little town, Beaver, Utah, just recently, just the two of us. And that was just a fun overnighter. So I feel like every week we do planning on Sunday, and we always plan when our date night is going to be. And sometimes it's a lunch date instead. And but we've had such great conversations when we're together, and you know, that's the kind of relationship I am interested in being in, is to have that vulnerability and connection with each other is super, super important. I personally am really a driven person, and so relationships can kind of fall by the wayside because I'm like so focused on what I am trying to do, but creating that
Guilty.
time is vital.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think it's fantastic. I don't think enough people do that. Spending time away from kids, away from all other commitments, away from phones, and just really focus on good conversation and reconnecting and getting to know each other because we're constantly growing and changing. And if you lose that, it's so important. Love that you do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Let's remind everybody before we roll into the final five again how they can connect with you, Julie.
So I have a website. It's jburningham.com that has my coaching on there. It has my CD on there if you want to buy my CD. I also have a Facebook page. It's Julie Burningham Uplifting Music and Life Coaching. So you can find me there, and I do live videos every day on my wall. So I love connecting with people and getting to know them. It's been just such a wonderful experience to be out there in the world and share and connect with people all over the world. It's just amazing.
I know, I know.
I love
I love your daily share your video. I think I love when people do that. I feel so connected because we're all so, quarantined and in our own space, and you see someone out on a hike and they're sharing an experience or a thought they have, and I'm like, I love that because it's connecting us. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the other reason I do it outside is because I feel like outside is a reframe for me, and it could be for someone else as well, to see the beauty of the outdoors and to remind everyone that it's going to be okay. The sun is going to rise the next day, the sun is going to set, and you can enjoy that beautiful $1 billion sunset or whatever. Like, it just is amazing. And so I feel like nature reconnects me with what is important. And so there's a reason behind it. And I feel like it's really important to share some peace, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
some tranquility, hopefully, with a good message. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do it. You do it very well. Thank you for
Thank
doing that.
you.
I always appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's do the final five, just five quick questions. First one is, what's your favorite word?
My favorite word is resilience. I feel like getting up when you fall down is really important. There's so many mistakes that I've made in my life, and getting back up is the key to anything you want to accomplish. So resilience is my favorite word.
That's a great one. Love that. What turns you off?
Uh, Negativity, the news,
Oh my
um,
gosh, right? Ah.
like any fear-based anything, just really, it's really hard for me to listen to, and I just really am protective of my mind space. And so that would be just, yeah, just negativity just really is not where I want to be. So
Right, absolutely. It's like, let me step out.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, what about favorite sound or noise?
um Probably bird calls. I
Oh,
really like hearing birds chirp outside. So that's one of my favorite things. Yeah.
yeah, that is a beautiful sound. And then your favorite activity. What do you enjoy doing the most?
I really enjoy playing the guitar right now. That's been a super fun thing. It's something I've started probably in the last 3 years, so it's new. Um, but I feel like you can start anything at any age, and so guitar, getting really good at it, has been really a fun experience. So I really love doing that.
That's a great message too, because you're never too old to learn something new. If you really want to do it, you find a way to make it happen.
Totally,
You can do it.
totally.
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
you're thinking of doing something, just do it. Do it.
Right.
Take classes.
Yeah. Well, and it's just 1%. Like, you're just going for 1% better. It's doesn't have to be, this
Perfection.
amazing thing. Like, yeah, just 1% better of strumming or picking or whatever. There's so many things about the guitar that I'm learning, and it's just a huge world that is a great discovery. So, yeah.
That's great. If you weren't doing what you're currently doing, what would you like to attempt? You're already doing the music thing, which I think
I
was
know. I'm like, how many more things could I do
go
right
to.
now?
Right.
Oh gosh, I that's a tough question. I honestly feel like I'm doing everything that I want to right now. Like, I really am. I don't know if there's anything that I would want to do instead right now. I feel like really like I'm on a good path, and I don't know if I would veer off of it right now.
Right.
So,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, I mean, honestly, you've got the best of all worlds. Like you've got your business, your coaching business, and now you're doing your passion piece, which is the music. And you've kind of brought those two worlds together in a really cool way, the way you're doing it. I think it's great. Good for you. You're
Thank
doing your
you.
passion and you're helping people. Yay!
Yeah. Yeah, I've combined them in a way because my music, I feel like, is a type of coaching, right? With the messages I share and stuff. So I have combined them, and it's, I think, unique that I've done that.
It
So
is.
not
Like
everyone
I
can.
don't know of anybody else doing what you're doing. That's why I think it's fantastic.
Thank
And
you.
a lot of us, I know for me, music is just so good for the soul.
I agree.
So,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
thank you, Julie, for coming on and sharing your wisdom with us. And again, I'll put all of your stuff to link with Julie in the description of the YouTube video. And stay safe, my friends. Stay curious, and we will see you on the next one.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julie.
Bye.
Bye, all.
Bye.